Well, one of the key challenges in South Africa is unemployment. And we actually were just looking the Gini coefficient. Unfortunately, South Africa sits in the top 3 across the globe, which means the gap between the rich and the poor. And that's the biggest challenge we're really sitting with as a country here. And the creative economy offers so much, because what we're able to do is, from young, talented minds, you're able to convert ideas into something of economic value. So if you have a design studio and you have a bunch of young designers and they sit behind their computer screens and they have a blank screen in front of them, and you say, hey, we've got a new client, they need a logo, they need a brand identity, you literally convert that blank screen into a logo. You say, here's the logo, here's the identity, this is what we're going to do. And you go, great, you give that to the client and you give them an invoice with that. And you say, here's your invoice for your intellectual capital. So you're able to literally mine ideas. So if you compare it to mining and you compare it to agriculture, you have to go and dig in the ground to get some coal. What you're able to do with the creative economy is we're simply able to convert ideas into something of economic value, and we're able to bring lots of young people into that economy.
I mean, according to these statistics that I have, the creative economy contributed some 3% to national GDP in 2015. So I'm interested in the outlook for the contribution to GDP, and particularly in this era of disruption where everything is being digitized. Does the creative economy still have a significant role to play?
So again, absolutely, because the digital era is offering you more opportunity, because what you have is you're not limited, you're not restricted to physical media, to production. You can create an app that has global value from South Africa. You create, you take an idea and you say, I have an idea for an app. I create that app. I put that app onto the Apple App Store, and your product is globally available without any distribution. If you are manufacturing something, you say, great, I've manufactured these. How am I going to distribute them? How am I going to get them out there? How am I going to market them? So the whole digital economy, if you look at YouTube, the YouTube platform is based on creativity. It's simply a platform, and people then have to create content to put onto the platform. If you create great creative content, people choose to engage with your content, and you are paid revenue directly through the platform. So the digital economy is offering more ways than ever for young creative people to get involved and to be part of the financial side of the business.
And then what makes a good idea, as we're talking about ideas right now and how they can essentially improve a company's bottom line? What is a good one?
So again, what makes a good idea? So when you're looking, we're talking about creativity for business value. We're not looking at it from a fine art point of view. So if you're looking at it from your house or your dress and you say, well, I'm wearing this dress because I like it, that's a different thing. That's a subjective thing, and it's your opinion. We're looking at it saying, again, okay, if I'm selling bottled water, how do I make my bottled water stand out from my competitors? So then you're taking creativity, and the creativity must have objectives. It's got a plan, it's got a target audience, ties to the brand. We're saying, okay, our job here is to sell your product. So we are using ideas to get your product to stand out, and that's going to push your product and grow your sales.
So I just, as I explained, what was it about these two ads that stood out?
So the thing, if you doing a communication like that and you're using creativity, is to do something that's not obvious, it's not linear. So if you look and you say a client, so we'll take the first ad, and it was for a condom brand in Namibia. So the condom brand, the client says, okay, we want to promote safe sex. That's the brief. So now the obvious thing is people then literally, they take the brief often and they simply transfer the brief into the communication. And then the communication says, be safe, practice safe sex. You see, so you take the brief and you just say practice safe sex. You think, there, my job's done. And that's the obvious way. And it's when you see something really creative, you go, wow, that's taking the brief, translating it, using an idea to carry it through in a way that's surprising. And when it's surprising you as an audience, it's memorable. You see it. And what they did in Namibia is they took something that's obvious, and there was a big music festival out in the country, so everyone has to travel on the country road, and you have all these anthills in Namibia, and they're the sort of long, thin anthills, not the little round ones. And so you have all these obvious anthills along the route, and what they did is they put condoms over the anthills. So it's like such an obvious idea, and it's always been there, and suddenly the anthills become this message for awareness, and people are driving along and they see this anthill with a big condom over it, and then on the condom it says, practice safe sex, use a condom, and they use that as an engaging way to communicate with the audience. So again, you're tying in with what it is. So it's a big music festival, there's lots of drinking, there's lots of young people. So you're saying, yes, we're talking to the right target audience. You're able to communicate with them, because then while they're driving, people actually would pull over, stop, take selfies. From that, even the campaign is amplified, because you're then communicating to friends and friends of friends, and it's getting passed on in social media. So that's why it's such a good idea.